Explain the following. The importance of the creation of Abilene in 1867 for the cattle ranching industry. 8 marks. The importance of the Homestead Act of 1862 on Western migration. 8 marks. This is the mark scheme for this question, which you can find out about in more detail in the overview video. 8 marks here are awarded for AO2, which is your analysis of consequence and significance. So that requires you to take the first element of the question and think about what is important about it in relation to the second element of the question. Making those links between the two different elements of the question is how you are analytical and how you score highly for AO2. 8 marks are also awarded for AO1, which is your knowledge and understanding of the topic. So you need to be bringing in evidence from your own knowledge to support your argument for this question. These are the bands for this question. Again, you can find out about these in more detail in the overview video. But generally, to do well in this question, you need to be analytical. And that really comes down to making clear links between the importance of the first event on the second event, so the two different elements of the question. You should also have a clear line of argument so the examiner can see really clearly what you're trying to get across. Your structure should also be quite easy to follow, so try not to go off on too many tangents. Keep it as relevant and focused as you can. Also on AO1, you should be bringing in relevant details from your own knowledge to support what you're trying to say, so using that evidence from your existing understanding, really just to demonstrate to the examiner that you know what you're talking about. There are lots of different points you could have made for both of these questions, so as long as what you say is relevant and correct, the examiner will give you the marks. But let's take a look at some examples of points that you could have made. So for the first question, you could discuss the impact of the Civil War and how it damaged the cattle ranching industry. That's because most fighting took place in the South, which left the industry in ruins. Herds were left without ranchers and cowboys, and they became wild, and that led to a lower demand in beef due to the poverty. So cattle were now much more valuable in the north, which meant that Abilene provided really useful transport links to boost the industry. So there you can see we've gone into quite a lot of detail there, but I've drawn on my own knowledge and I've taken my initial point and developed it quite far to show the importance of Abilene and really link those two elements of the question together. It's that level of detail and development of point that can really help to boost you into the top bands for this question. The same applies to the second question. So an example of a point you could have made could have been that the Act allowed anyone over the age of 21 to file a claim, except for Native Americans. But freed slaves, new citizens seeking naturalisation, and single women were for the first time eligible to buy their own land. So you can see there again, we've taken our initial point, but we've extended it to really explain clearly the link between the Homestead Act and Western migration, and why one element of the question was important for the other. And it's that development and making that link really clear that is so important for this question. Take a look at the rest of the points here to see if there's anything you could have added to your answer.